After we left camp this morning, we headed towards Green Break Road or Green Break Ridge Trail, I don't know, whatever it is. We started the track, we didn't get far down to the log. There was a group of 8 vehicles in front of us, and the first one was stuck on the log and had broken the front diff, so back to 2-wheel drive, and they couldn't get him off the log. And they had like sort of stock vehicles with them, and it was just going to be an absolute nightmare. We were going to be there for hours waiting for them to get over the log, and then they still had to get up the rest of the track. They were still going to try and keep going with the car they had in 2-wheel drive. So we turned around and headed back out of there, which is a bit of an hour of stuffing around doing that. And then we're heading towards CPT 80, I think we're going to do. And we're just taking Mackenzie Road on the way, which is a little one that cuts through to Prickly Ridge Road, and then they'll take us down to, well, we'll probably have a crack at CPT 80 or see what else we find along the way. Nice sunny day, but good to be out here, plenty of people. Wound our way all the way down the mountain, which is a bit of a long, rough drive in the Suzuki, and we've come all the way down the bottom to CPT 80. It was just chaotic up the top there, and a couple of tracks we wanted to do, there was just cars everywhere. Just come down here and hoping it won't be as busy down here. We haven't really seen anyone down here yet. Just pulled up at the start of the track because it's lunchtime. Gonna have a little bit of lunch.
It's lunchtime now.
Start of the track starts here with Big Ruts, and then we'll hopefully spend the arvo doing the track, hopefully get through in a couple of hours or so.
When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men try to reach it. Many men have failed.
Alright, we are on our way down CPT 80. We've got through those ruts, now we've hit a big muddy puddle with a little rutted out climb in front of it. Looks like it requires a bit of speed. Dad just got caught out on those ruts there coming out. He sort of bellied out and he's crossed axled a bit as well, so he's got 2 issues there. So we're going to put a bridle on the front of his car and a bridle on the back of the JIMNY and hopefully pull him out. So we've just got 2 soft shackles onto the kinetic rope, onto, like, we both have a bridle, so both have 2 soft shackles and a bridle with the kinetic rope between them. That way you got a nice even pull. You ready, Dad?
Thank you, how good you can, bud.
Oh, there you go, see if we can pull that out. There was people and cameras running everywhere then. Alright, that's all us through the mud hole. Keep going. Went on a really bad angle. Get ready to catch me. So is this right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just straight. Hold that line. Yeah. Hold that line. I got you.
Oh, this is fun. Just keep inching?
Yeah, yep. Your tyres there now, so you're right, like.
Yeah, so I'm through.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Nice.
Did that look bad or was that just felt bad? Like it didn't feel good? These things feel very tippy.
Your back wheel is a long way up. Yeah, or something that short.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm not going to go that way.
Eh?
I'm not going to go that way.
You're not going to?
No.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that.
Smart. Oh, that's where I was going over there. Shad was holding me up. Woo, that's a lot of fun. Also terrifying. Having fun, Kai? Kai's wearing hope, but he couldn't care less what's going on. Oh man, that little thing will go. You just got to hold that bit of momentum. It'll just lift wheels and spin. That traction control system obviously works well because there's no lockers, but as long as you're holding that bit of momentum, like you can't idle things, which is what I'm used to. Just got to hold that bit of momentum and it'll just like crawl up things. Well, not crawl, but lift wheels and send itself up things. Got caught out the top of that ruddy climb, so I'm just going to try to pull him out again in the JIMNY. You ready to go, Dad?
I'm good.
Was that one more go?
Yeah, could you move him a bit then? Yeah. Go.
That's that up. Now Shad's up. CPT80 is honestly such a fun track. It just has an awesome mixture of ruts, rock steps, hill climbs, mud to get through. When we were out there, we had a fair bit of rain in recent times, meaning it was quite wet. Normally if you go there, it's probably not going to be this wet. We did have a bit of trouble in those muddy, rutted out sections that, had we given it another few days, would have been quite dry.
more go. It's trying to do it.
A bit more power.
Yeah. And when you start to stop, go like that a little bit.
This was actually a super steep little hill climb, and it was quite wet and slippery on it too. Now there was a track around it, but I was keen to try and get up the main one there. I did try in the ruts a couple of times, but wasn't getting up there. So I lined it up and tried to straddle those ruts up the right hand side. Dad was up next in the MUX, and he managed to pick that perfect line first go and got up there without any dramas. Does that feel dodgy?
Yeah. Not enough speed or?
I don't know, it's a bit slippery now too. Shad had a couple of goes at trying to get up in the Land Cruiser, but it was just getting very slippery by this stage, and those angles were not starting to look good, so we decided to take the easy option around that one, and we continued on our way. This is where the Suzuki really seemed to excel, just being that short wheelbase, super light. Even though it had the smallest tyres in the group, it just seemed to be able to skim through these rutted out muddy sections and not get bogged down or stuck on them. Shad didn't have the same luck in the Land Cruiser, unfortunately. He just buried down, and those rear leaf springs often end up seeming to becoming a bit of an anchor in these sorts of conditions.
Tyler just needs a push, so I'm going to put this strap on and push in with the Land Cruiser. Push strap, this one.
Alright, we're going to try and pull Shad out now. You ready, Shad? Alright, here we go.
Why can't you the first person get stuck? Who's going to pull them out?
Shad's out. Oh, jeez. The good thing about this is if I get stuck, then... Well, mate, I'm not getting stuck. Don't be stupid. It's not happening.
Okay, the car's actually like literally brand new because it's been like repainted brown.
I know. It's got 704 kilometers on it, and this is what it's doing. Anyway, Shad's out. Got him out, and one hook, and then Dad's got to get through. The same thing that happened to Shad ended up happening to Dad as well. He just backed off that little bit too early, and the car sat right on its belly on those ruts there. Quick little winch onto the back of Shad's vehicle. He was out, and we were on our way again. Okay, that is Dad out. Now we keep going. We're down those ruts. Now we've got to come back up out the other side, which is just as bad, if not worse. Look at that go! More mud in the window. Wow, I got to keep lining my window up.
Yeah, that's why I keep mine up.
Another one of Dad's idiotic ideas.
God.
Oh my god, I'm that muddy and this car is a disgrace. Alright, here we go up the big CBT80 rocky rutted out hill climb that I always see in videos. It's an interesting one. See how we go. Jeez, it's bumpy.
No, he's on the sway bar on the front here.
You're on the sway bar.
We're going alright so far. I just lacked clearance on the bit here. Hit the front sway bar, so we're going to put a few rocks in the hole. Good?
Yeah, try that, see what happens.
Wow.
Back in that hole, right?
Just like that, maybe, and then put the other one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, there's no, like, once it starts to
Die down.
die,
no talk, eh?
it's gone.
With the help of a little bit of right foot, Suzuki managed to grab traction and climb itself up to the top of that hill. Shad was up next. He took a track around that first tight, tricky bit in the bigger Land Cruiser, and then he came back onto that main section of the hill climb and managed to crawl his way up there without too many issues.
Come back 2 foot. Yeah, that's flattened you out a bit again. Yeah, and then just punch it back like that. That's it, we're at the top of CPT80. It was a fun hill climb in the end there. We all managed to get up. One of those bucket list tracks that you've always seen. I finally come out here to do it. Awesome fun. Not sure what we're going to do now. Shad and Ryan are going home, but Dad and I still got 2 more nights. So probably just try and find a bush camp somewhere here. It's 3:30, but probably take it easy. Not going to take on any more tracks or anything now. Yeah, see where we end up. Not many plans as per usual. Found ourselves a nice spot to camp with plenty of light still left. They're only a couple hundred metres from the turn off to CPT80, and then we took a little bush track up onto a ridge line here, and we got a bush spot to ourselves. It's only 4 o'clock, so we've still got plenty of daylight. We had a big day. It's good to have a early camp. For now, until everyone else shows up.
Yeah. Until somebody makes a sign that says public camp open.
Yeah.
Price minus $10, and then everybody's just freaking out.
Will you find me? Hope you find me.
These little Suzukis don't have a massive fuel tank. I think it's only 40 litres, so brought this 20 litre jerry can for backup as well. We're still on just under half a tank, so wouldn't really be a problem, but I may as well fill it back up now. The guys who built this did say they are going to put a long range tank on it. The one they're putting on it, which is the Ironman one, is just not quite ready yet. They're still developing it or whatever, but it'll be out soon. They're going to put it on. It's obviously not going to be able to get a massive distance in this car on the standard fuel tank without taking a heap of jerry cans. Had a nice camp spot up here last night, all to ourselves up in the bush up at the top of this little crest here. Sun's out this morning, is a bit of wind, but nice August day. This sun and wind should help dry the tracks out a bit. They have been wet the last couple of days just because we did have some rain last week leading up to this trip away. Packing up camp now, then we're going to head through to the first track we're going to do today is Drury Lane. Never done that before. I've never really done any of the tracks out in this area, to be honest. It's kind of my first time out here. Do Drury Lane, which is only, a lot of these tracks are short. I think it's only 2 or 3 k's long, but it's not far down the road at all. It's only about 15 minutes away, and then from there we're going to head on to Greasy Road, I think it is. So we'll pack up camp now and head that way. Just hit the start of Drury Lane track, which follows the fence farmland. So we're in the forest, and farmland is just on the other side of the fence there, so it follows this fence line. Now, from what I've sort of seen and heard, the first bit is just navigating your way sort of in and around a few muddy sections, and then you got some good hill climbs and that up out the other end. So gonna be a fair bit of bog hole checking in that. That middle one there seems a bit dodgy. The side one seems a little bit sloshy too, so we'll go through the side one. It's not that
big. We continued making our way along Drury Lane. Now, I had heard some horrid stories about the bog holes out here, so we were a little bit worried about what we were going to encounter, but providing you check all the bog holes, pick your lines and go around the real deep ones, you're not going to have any issues. We cruised through all the muddy sections drama free. After a little while cruising through those low-lying areas of all those muddy sections, we come across some super fun hill climbs.
Getting hot and sweaty already running this camera around. You just really gotta work it. It's so much fun, and you can really pick different lines with the little Suzuki. Like you can crawl up around obstacles and tight lines that you wouldn't usually be able to do. You just got to get used to holding that bit of throttle, and then that traction control system works really well. It bounces around a fair bit because you got to hold that bit of momentum, but doesn't really feel like strenuous or like you're stressful and like you're gonna break anything. It's just so light, like you just sort of flicks and bounces over obstacles. Dad's gonna go around that bit. There's a track around. There's sort of the main track, but then the harder bits, there is tracks around them. He's gonna go around that bit. It's just a little bit harder in his car without the lockers or anything. Dad's gonna have a little drive coming down this bit. He hasn't had to drive yet, and he's been keen to give it a bit of a go, so give him a few turns on this track today. There's actually quite a gnarly rocky downhill bit, and the angles in the Suzuki feel a lot worse, so it's an interesting one for him to start on. So much fun along this track so far. It's just got a mixture of everything, mixture of like rocky hill climbs, mud holes, rutted out clay sections. It's got it all super fun out here, and like the harder bits, there's easier tracks around them, and you haven't really had to send it through any big mud holes yet. There has been a couple of big ones, but we've gone around them.
Dover's up next in this rutted, muddy section. Once again, it just shows where that Suzuki excels, being that short wheelbase, light, just seems to cruise through this sort of stuff. But Dad was struggling, bellying out, and lacking that clearance. Quick little winch pulled him over that middle section, but then he still had that last climb to go.
Why you're not going to try again? You nearly had it.
I'll give it another.
Go back. If you go a little bit more speed, you'll get it. You're so close. Can you give it any more?
Yeah, I don't want to go much harder than that.
I just started up that section there. Just need a couple inches to get like up over those humps where it's just flexing out, and without the diff locks, it just sort of spinning wheels. That's where you can see a massive difference in the traction control system in the Suzuki compared to the Isuzu. Like, as we've all seen before, it doesn't really seem to do much, whereas this Suzuki, when you hold that bit of momentum, like, it just lifts wheels and launches itself up through those things. We've come to some massive mud holes out here now, but most of them are disused. Like, they're just complete mess, so it's just about navigating your way through all the tracks like around them, sort of weaving in and out of trees. Can you go back, or you stuck? Hey Kai, Pa thought he was a bulldozer. So it looked like it was, when it first started going, it looked like it was starting to pick up out. Yeah. But then it just slid and just buried in there. Yeah. And what is, winch you forward? We're too far into the bank, aren't we?
Well, if I go the other lot,
if we hook up to like there and pull you that way.
Yeah, as the winch power should be able to drag that front end out of there a bit.
So Dad drove the Suzuki through that one, so he sort of managed to bring the Suzuki up around the side of it. But then the track kind of follows into the bank, and his car wouldn't come up out the side of it, and he's just ploughed in, sort of ploughed to the bank there. We sort of thought he might crawl up out that way, but he's just ploughed more and more into the bank. And he can't go backwards either now, he's just buried the front end. So we're going to try and winch him to a tree like up there, and then that'll sort of pull him off the bank out of there, hopefully. We're just about done this track as well, like we're sort of in amongst all the houses and everything here. The road's only just there. Off that Drury Lane now, we winched that out of that last bit along the fence there, and then we're up and on the main road. We'd hooked a right and came a K&a-half up further into the forest. So this is JIMNY State Forest now, I think it's called. Kind of like way down the bottom end of the Watagans. And now I've just pulled up at Greasy Road, which we're going to tackle next, which is another one I haven't done, but it was on my list of tracks to do, and so I thought we'd give that a tackle since we're out this way. Have a bit of lunch and chill out for a while, and then we'll head down there. Hey Kai, watch me, I'm a pro juggler. Do you reckon I'll do it? Too much pressure. Woo! How many do you reckon I can do? I can go all day.
I can go all day. Approximately 2 seconds later. Mission failed.
Time for orange.
I reckon I could go all day. 1 second later.